Even the most heinous greenskin scumbags look upon these goblins' swift skullduggery with reverent horror. And today, guys, we're back with the showdown between the dinos, who shall be led by Nakai with his nose piece here. And he's going to be facing off against the Greenskins, who shall be led by Skarsnik, the Warlord of 8 Peaks. And Skarsnik actually did get a little bit of a buff, if I'm not mistaken. So before, I think he had like 4.7 or 4.8 KHP, and I think they also tweaked his stats a little bit, but I'm not sure. I'll have to go check. But nonetheless, very excited to see Skarsnik in action with his pet squig. And as far as my build goes here in the front line, it's going to be Red Crested Skinks and Saurus Warriors. So it's very much going to be a mouth-breathing build. Just move forward, just crump things, and just have a good time. So the Greenskins are most certainly probably going to match that crumping instinct here. But yeah, it's just Red Crested Skinks, which are really good in the front line. I mean, just situationally, of course, but in general, they apply poison. So for example, if there's like a troop fighting the Saurus right next to them, and, they get kind of clipped by the Red Crested Skinks. There are a couple models right here. It is going to be applying poison. So that's why I really like to saturate them into the front line. Even if they do die relatively quickly, they trade relatively effectively with Black Orcs. They have decent AP values, and the poison is pretty much useful against, most targets. So it's going to be Red Crested Skinks and Saurus Warriors in the front line there. And in the second line, it's going to be KROXIGORs. And these are just regular KROXIGORs. So taking a bit of a break here from the Power Fist KROXIGORs. But yeah, did they get a new scheme? I could have sworn. You guys will have to let me know in the comment section below because I don't quite remember, but I'm just playing regular Lizardmen right now. I'm not playing a sub-faction, and these guys look really cool. Looks like they got a bit of an art update on these guys. But 3 of them, and against Greenskins, the Sacred KROXIGORs, I don't know if it's worth it because these guys, are going to be a little bit more cost effective probably against purely infantry. These guys have a bonus versus infantry, and the Greenskins, for the most part, aside from the spiders and trolls and things like that, are going to have mostly infantry. So I felt like regular KROXIGORs would be good. On top of that, we got Big Papa Nakai over here in the trees, and he's thick, he's pissed, he's coming out of the jungle here, or the forest, I should say. And yeah, we're just going to be kind of rushing in with KROXIGORs and trying to use the Primal Roar, which does give a physical resist and melee attack, and we're going to be trying to crump on some of the gits and hopefully get some good burst damage. We do also have the Miasma of Despair, which is really good against Greenskins. It lowers leadership, and it also does lower speed if you're trying to catch something. So Greenskin, this plus like other effects that kind of harm leadership could be pretty good. Maybe I should have gone a little bit deeper in that. I'm trying to think because I don't think Lizardmen have access to Lore of Death. I mean, you just have Heavens and Beasts as far as your magic choices if you don't go for a non-Slon Lord. So yeah, hard to say. Well, and Croak, of course. So we do have a Beastcaster back here. He's going to be summoning Manscores just to kind of chase down the Greenskin Lords and targets like that, and also is going to be using Flock of Doom. Now, to deal with the Spider, because my army doesn't really have much anti-large here at all. I don't think there's any, really. I mean, KROXIGORs can do okay here. Sacred KROXIGOR is obviously much better versus large threats, but we're going to be using the Carno here. So there's going to be a Saurus Scar Veteran on a Carnosaur, and he's going to be doing just some sweet Mortal Kombat here with the Arachnoid Queen. I think in a vacuum, he does lose to the Queen. It's hard to say because she can summon those little spiderlings, which kind of poke away at him, plus the poison is very big, but nonetheless, with a little bit of support, hopefully we'll be able to take out the Queen. So that's pretty much it. We do have a Feral Basilodon here on the far side. We're going to call him Bartholomew for today, and yeah, he's just there to cause terror. He's very cheap, and in case the Carno wasn't around, I wanted something that could instantly terror out the Greenskin forces. And for the forces of the Greenskins, and the Great Dob plays, he's got Goblins in the front line. Secondary line's going to be Black Orcs. It's a Warlords boy, so he does have the Elite Goblins here in the center, a couple groups of Orc Air boys, and Nasty Skulkers in the back with the Goblin Rock Lobber. So very, very cool army for sure. The main threat is, of course, going to be the Queen, but I mean, Black Orcs can do a ton of damage against my army as well. Let's get the show on the road, guys. So I'm going to be charging in here momentarily to kind of a crump on these goblins, but that's kind of what he wants. He wants me to just kind of waste my initial charge on the goblins, and then the rest of his more elite forces can kind of pile in from there. Looks like there's going to be a Witchcraft summon going down here, so the Arachnoid Queen is going to be summoning some Spiderlings, so this is actually a pretty good play because, the Skinks do have an okay charge bonus of 23, so it's kind of mucking them up, adding another layer of difficulty I kind of have to work through. I think is a very, very good play there. Skarsnik's going to be lurking in the trees, the wall has been popped, and the Rock Lobber is also taking some shots at the Saurus and doing some pretty good work. Yeah, definitely quite impressed by that. Saurus getting into the Goblins, so Goblins are going to get massacred. They are the ideal target. They have 25 armor, Saurus hit like trucks, and the Spanking Paddles are going to be coming in just, the big lumbering overhead clubs. I love it. Physical resist is going to be going down in KROXIGOR, so they're going to be a lot more durable against this Orc Airboy fire. And here Nakai plus the Saurus Scar Veteran are going to be jumping on the Queen, and they actually did some pretty good damage. So I pretty much forced it back, but Dob is able to pull me into a nice little kind of layer of missile fire. But the KROXIGOR smash continues. You can see we were able to pretty much just flatten that one group of goblins, just KO'd those guys. But the Manticore summon is going to be coming down here for me, which I'm going to be trying to go after probably some of the higher value targets or maybe some archers here in the back. And I was able to sneak some Skinks up and around the side here, and we are going to be jumping into the Goblin Rock Lobber and some of these other tools. Now here on the far side though, Skarsnik is actually doing quite a bit of work, and I didn't really see him. He's kind of like very inconspicuous and sneaky, right? I feel like you always miss him. Oh my god, imagine if Goblet ate a KROXIGOR. That'd be crazy. But he's actually taken out 2 KROXIGORs, done a ton of HP damage, and Skarsnik has, like, single-handedly, I mean, with the help of some Black Orcs, of course, but, you know, it's all Skarsnik. It's all his schemes. He was able to win this flank. Now, in the back line, though, it's going a little bit better for me. I was able to get a Manticore summon, and I am just bull rushing back here because the archers and that kind of saturated fire, I don't really want to be dealing with that. So we got our spanking paddles out, we're pushing back, and we're just trying to get all over the archers here, and we do also have the Bastillodon to try and get the Terror out, plus the Manticore. So it's going to be a lot of pressure here on the archers, and here we do also get the red crested skinks in the back line who are able to chase down the Orc Air Boys and will soon be surging into the Goblin Rock Lava. So the second Manticore is going to be going down here, which I will be sending after the Orc Shaman, trying to kind of goon that guy out, and the other KROXIGORs back here, who did have to fall back from the Warlord of 8 Peaks, are going to be jumping back in to just kind of crump some goblins and help out these little skink buddies, and I feel like KROXIGORs and skinks have a pretty cool little relationship here. Oh, look at that big paddling, just coming in with that hammer right there. But anyways, very good play here. He actually is able to get a good punch here on my Sora Scar veteran, the Skarsnik, so I feel like I'm going to have to fall back at this point. Granted, I do get a little bit aggressive and I go after the Orc Shaman, which was going to be okay, and we did miss it while I was just watching Skarsnik, but I was able to do a ton of damage against the Spider here using the Saurus Scar veteran plus Nakai, so we were able to get some work. And yeah, I just ate a ton of pancakes like right before this cast, and I'm just feeling like nauseous and lightheaded. You know that like brain fog when you just eat a bunch of like heavy food? Yeah, I'm just dealing with that right now, so guys, forgive me. Saurus Scar veteran's in a pretty big duel here though, 1400 HP, 2.4 on the vet, and we're able to get some pretty good damage in, but that poison really does minimize the effectiveness here, or at least lower it quite significantly. And we're trying our best to take down the Queen, but it looks like Fist of Gork is going to be going down, and suddenly it looks like with the help of this Pig Shaman and all these little Spiderlings, I'm starting to lose this fight. So very, very big game-changing moment, because I felt like I was relatively far ahead, having taken out the Spider, but on top of that, Nakai is dueling Skarsnik here, and Skarsnik's actually holding his own, and Nakai's going to be forced to run 2.4 to 3 can Skarsnik, and I just have to get out of there. So who would have thought the Warlord of 8 Peaks and his pet Squig would be able to defeat this this big beast, Nakai the Wanderer, right? Which I think is pretty great. It's what I've always wanted to see. So at this point, my whole formation over here essentially collapsed. The Scar veteran, the Saurus Scar veteran, is getting hunted down by all the little Spiderlings. So I'm going to be forced back. This is a great play here by Dog. Using the little spiders, if he's able to break me, he can basically just chase me off the battlefield using those plus the Shaman and pull the Queen, or yeah, this is the Queen, pulling it into the main fight. So now we're just in a pit fight for our lives. The bounce bar is really even. Nakai is going to be doing some nice clubbing here on Black Orcs. That's pretty much what he is designed to fight, but the problem with him is just getting some Goblin with the other swing right there. But the main issue is that Skarsnik is still around, and he's hobbling his way in. He's relatively slow. Where is Skarsnik? Did he finally make it in? Oh, looks like he is in here. So it's basically 38 Saurus Warriors, a fair amount of KROXIGORs and the Bastillodon, but it's really going to come down to this. Is Nakai going to be able to beat Skarsnik? Flock of Doom is going to be going down for my Beastcaster. In the back, I was pretty much able to get all of his missiles and other troops like that using the Red Crested Skinks, who actually have 125 kills. But basically it just comes down to the monster fight. If Nakai can beat Skarsnik, he might be able to actually beat the Queen. So we're going to kind of get a close-up of this duel here. As you can see, the KROXIGORs are going to be helping and falling to Gobla. The Bastillodon's going to be charging it as well. And is the Bastillodon going to be able to break this guy? It's a tough situation here, but it looks like my stuff is starting to fold under the pressure. And the Black Orcs, of course, have really good AP value. They have 37 melee attack, 50 weapon strength, great AP. So the KROXIGORs aren't really able to stand up to that. And we do break the Queen. However, Nakai is just getting spanked on by Skarsnik. Skarsnik just doing work. 1400 HP, that 82 melee defense is just rock hard from that Fist of Gork, and Nakai is going to be getting chased off. So I get one more Flock of Doom right here, which does hit the Black Orcs and does some okay damage. It's not going to be game breaking like that. And I was kind of hoping that Skarsnik would get Terror out of here, but it was Bastillodon. But man, he was holding long on like an absolute champion, which I love. And on top of that, the Queen is going to be running, so there is kind of a bit of a chance for us to kind of salvage this pocket over here. We have some KROXIGORs who have come back and could potentially do some spanking here on the Goblin Spider Riders. We have our little Shaman as well, but for the most part, Nakai is going to be getting pushed off, and he's going to be doing some sweet Mortal Kombat here with the Orc Shaman. So here comes Nakai, 250 HP, 5 leadership. You know, Lizardmen, you got to say, they do have really good leadership. So he's going to be going in, he's going to be beating his club on the ground as he does give that Orc a good wallop in, and you can also see that the cold-blooded effect is going to be cast on Nakai. Oh, he just punched that guy in the face! Oh man, he just comes in like straight up with a Mike Tyson punch right there. But nonetheless, the Orc Shaman gets the final laugh as the Goblins kind of, converge on his position. And at this point, it's just the Bastillodon. I'm glad. At the very least, I can say that Bart did survive this. And Skarsnik, the Warlord of 8 Peaks, is going to go back to the halls and telling great stories of how he defeated one of the most fearsome Lizardmen warriors of all time. And yeah, there he goes with his little goblin. That's Warhammer 101. So very well played. It was a super fun game. I had a blast. And I just kind of wanted to try a bull rush with Nakai because I feel like in a competitive sense, Nakai's, he's not bad. He's pretty decent, but I think the Sacred KROXIGOR, or the KROXIGOR Ancient, is quite a bit better because he just costs 600 less and he basically does the same thing aside from Perfect Figure. So you're probably going to be seeing that more. I think this rush build can work against Greenskins, but I think Greenskins, like, you really should bring some sort of a, mobile pressure just to kind of get into the back and cycle charge and, do all that stuff. But honestly, it was a close game and the build was efficient. I think the fact that I was able to get the spider really low and I kind of like let it slip away. When I saw a break, I was like, okay, I'm going to switch targets. And ultimately, I think that cost me the game. I needed to be able to finish off the queen because at that point, the Scar veteran plus, Nakai would have been pretty healthy and they would have been able to probably tear her out and beat down Skarsnik together. But yeah, that was a big mistake, letting that thing live. And I mean, yeah, that's part of the game. And he did a really good job kind of restabilizing, getting his army back together. And it was really cool seeing the Warlord of Eight Peaks in action. And yeah, so now Job is the king of Skarsnik as well as the Pistoliers, it would seem. So yeah, it was a good KROXIGOR build. Sacred KROXIGORs, I don't think would have done much better here. What would I change though? I mean, you have to have the anti-large here. I might actually just bring a Slann. I think that would be a little bit more efficient probably. Like bring a Slann, cut this caster here, just get the banishments, and then from there I would probably get a bunch of like mobile cav units like Coldland Riders and things like that, just to kind of, slam into the witches and burn through the ditches and all that good Rob Zombie stuff. But anyways, very well played job. Please make sure to check out his YouTube channel, which will be in the comment section below. And I'm never going to eat pancakes. I'm not going to eat them again for another year because I can barely speak and think. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Take care.